The boiling reason your own skin can't warn you fast enough hides 200 miles into the Amazon rainforest. And in 2011, in Peru, it cooked a fisherman's legs down to bone in under 60 seconds, before his brain even finished registering the word hot. You feel heat through nerve endings built for campfires and hot stoves, a slow local warning. But there's a river in the jungle that outruns every nerve you own. It's called Shanay-timpishka, boiled by the heat of the sun, and locals feared it centuries before anyone measured it. No volcano sits nearby. No obvious fault line splits the earth beside it. Yet this river runs hot enough to cook meat for 4 straight miles through dense, living rainforest. Scientists who finally studied it walked away with more questions than answers, and one word kept surfacing in their notes: impossible. In 2011, geoscientist Andrés Russo followed a childhood story his grandfather told him, a legend of a river so hot the Spanish conquistadors who bathed in it never left. Russo assumed it was myth, the kind every jungle has. Then a cousin walked him to the riverbank, and he watched steam rise off moving water in a place with no crater, no lava, no obvious source. He waded in with a thermometer. The reading climbed past 190 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to brew tea, hot enough to blister flesh in seconds. Animals that slipped in didn't drown. They cooked from the outside first, their bodies giving off the smell of a kitchen. Locals had a name for the pale, boiled corpses that washed up downstream. They simply stopped calling them anything at all. Here's where it gets stranger. Boiling rivers exist elsewhere on Earth, but every other one sits inside a volcanic zone, fed directly by magma chambers close to the surface. Shanay-timpishka does not. The nearest active volcano is over 400 miles away, far too distant to explain water this hot, this consistently, mile after mile. For years, geologists dismissed reports of it as exaggeration or misread satellite data because the physics didn't add up. A river shouldn't be able to do this without a volcano feeding it directly underneath. Then the pattern interrupts. Russo's tests revealed the real mechanism, and it wasn't fire from below at all, it was geometry. Deep fault lines beneath the Amazon carry ordinary rainwater far down into the crust, toward heat that's already there, non-volcanic but still immense residual warmth trapped in ancient rock. That heated water gets forced back up along a different fault, fast and under pressure, arriving at the surface already boiling. No eruption, no magma chamber. Just water finding a shortcut through the planet's own leftover heat, funneled through cracks that happen to run directly beneath a river humans built villages beside for 1,000 years. That's the part that should unsettle you. This isn't a freak occurrence sealed behind warning signs and fences. It's an ordinary-looking jungle river, brown and slow at the edges, that transitions into a fatal boil with no visible line between safe and lethal. Locals call the surrounding jungle sacred and dangerous in the same breath, because their ancestors learned the boundary the only way you can, by losing someone to it. The fisherman who fell in during 2011 slipped on wet rock chasing a runaway catch. He was pulled out alive. He died from his burns days later, and doctors said the water had already done to his tissue what fire does over minutes. Compressed into seconds, his body had no way to process. What makes this worse isn't the heat itself, it's the deception of it. The river looks like every other river. It moves the same way, reflects the canopy the same way, invites the same instinct to wade in and cool off. There's no smell of sulfur, no bubbling crater rim, no sign your body is trained to recognize as danger. Your skin can register a hot stove in 1/10 of a second. It cannot register 200 degrees of moving river water until nerve damage has already begun, because nothing in your evolutionary history prepared you for water that behaves like fire. Shanay-timpishka isn't hiding behind distance or difficulty of access. It's hiding in plain sight, disguised as the one thing your body has always trusted without question. Local healers still bring the sick to the river's edge, not to enter it, but to sit near its heat and steam, treating it as medicine rather than threat. Proof that the same force capable of boiling a man alive is also woven into centuries of survival and healing for the people who live closest to it. Geologists now believe similar non-volcanic hot faults could be hiding, undetected, beneath other rainforests and river systems around the world, simply because no one has waded in with a thermometer yet. Which means the geometry that built Shanay-timpishka isn't rare. It's just rarely found before something or someone finds it the hard way. So if a river that looks this ordinary can hide 200 degrees beneath a calm surface, with no volcano, no warning sign, and no smell to give it away, What else are you walking past right now, trusting because it looks familiar? That's already boiling somewhere just out of sight.